to yourself. So go to Oprah.com.
Right now at 5, tornado terror. A twister tore through a Boy Scout camp with deadly results, but some young heroes kept it from being even worse.
Forced to fire. Why police say they had no choice but to kill a drug suspect in his Pembroke Pines home.
A craving for copper. How greed sparked a fire at a local strip mall.
And Oprah, she's on a roll. She's topping another celebrity list and laughing all the way to the bank. Thanks for joining us. I'm Erica Von Teal. Shannon Horry is off tonight.
I'm Antonio Mora. CBS 4 News at 5 starts right now.
From Miami-Dade, Broward, and the Keys, this is South Florida's CBS 4 News.
We all got under the tables. 8 seconds the tornado passed. That was like the longest 8 seconds I've ever had.
Chaos at a Boy Scout camp in Iowa. 4 are killed, survivors are shell-shocked, and the damage is unbelievable. Tonight, trying to make sense out of a killer twister.
The camp was hit head-on with virtually no notice.
Yeah, the Scouts, whose motto is, of course, be prepared, just didn't stand a chance against the tornado, which officials say ripped through like a bowling ball. CBS 4's Elliot Rodriguez has the dramatic pictures and the even more dramatic first-hand accounts of surviving that tragedy.
I was getting knocked around. I had dirt flying everywhere.
The Boy Scouts camping out in these tents had no chance against the killer tornado that tore through their campground in western Iowa. It leveled this concrete block building, smashed in this pickup truck, and killed 4 teenage boys.
The walls are starting to cave in and blowing around. The chimney collapsed. I didn't really know what to do except hunker down and hope for the best.
When the winds finally died down, these 4 boys were dead. 3 were 13 years old. 1 was 14. They were among 93 campers and 25 staff members at the camp. The Scouts had a weather radio and knew a storm was coming. After hearing a siren, they prepared as best they could, huddling inside a building, but it collapsed under the force of the wind.
It wasn't like blowing around. It was just going straight on and not stopping.
The Scouts had gone through an emergency drill earlier in the week and quickly put their training to work, treating the injured and sending search parties to find those who were lost, protecting each other throughout the ordeal.
I was almost spun halfway around facing the other way, but I pulled myself back over to make sure that my friend was all right.
Using the skill that he learned as a scout to help his fellow scouts in need. So we're proud of you, big guy.
Now, besides the 4 deaths, 42 scouts were injured and more than a dozen are still in the hospital right now. The injuries range from minor cuts and bruises to major head trauma.
Now, I'm sure the Scout leaders are so proud of these boys for responding so quickly.
Yeah, they keep saying this over and over again, that these kids did exactly what they were supposed to do. They did everything they could, but this tornado was just so strong, and the only place they can go, that building, just wasn't equipped to handle it.
They didn't have good protection,
Absolutely
no
not.
basements or anything.
No.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Well, parts of South Florida saw some strong storms. So how is the night shaping up? CBS 4's meteorologist Craig Setzer is in for Chief Meteorologist David Bernard. And Craig, we got some big ones coming.
Yeah, we have some big ones moving through the area, but I think as the night goes, things will improve slowly. The heaviest activity right now kind of along the Miami-Dade Broward County line, and there's some other rain up to the north. We'll zoom in now on the heaviest activity. You can see it's moved out of Hialeah through Miami Lakes and on out into the Everglades there, US 27 and the Florida Turnpike right there. Also, these storms continuing to move to the west, so some improvement now over the metro area, and up to the north we have mainly light to moderate rain moving through much of northern and central Broward. So no severe weather expected this evening, but kind of a wet commute for the time, and things improving overnight tonight. The rest of the weekend is looking pretty good, and I'll have that forecast coming up in a bit.
All right, thank you, Craig. The quiet of a Pembroke Pines neighborhood was erased by gunfire this morning. Police were serving a search warrant at a home when they say they were confronted by an armed man. CBS 4's Joan Murray reports from Pembroke Pines tonight.
I just heard a gunshot this morning. That's it.
As the sun came up, Pembroke Pines police stormed this Southwest 10th Court home with a search warrant in hand. Then neighbors heard an awful sound.
He was a great guy. Nothing at all deserved this.
Neighbors say the homeowner, Vincent Hotchkiss, was shot dead. Hotchkiss lived here with his 22-year-old son. Police say there was drug activity in the home, and they had no choice but to shoot.
They were confronted by the subject. A firearm was discovered in the house. One of our SRT members was forced to fire upon that subject, and he was killed.
Neighbors describe Hotchkiss as easygoing and helpful. Many knew he had a concealed weapons permit and owned a gun, but they cannot understand how he ended up in a confrontation with police.
I'm upset to see that happen. You know, unfortunately, it was warranted if the police had a warrant, which I heard, but you know, he was a nice man. He was not aggressive. He was friendly with all the neighbors, and I'm sure that everyone would say that they liked him.
And everyone says there was a lot of activity at his home day and night, raising suspicions.
Just a bunch of cars, that's it, all the time. It's always a full house.
But what did you think when you saw all the cars coming?
This could have been drug dealers.
Police will not discuss what kind of alleged drug activity was happening in that home. They say, though, that they have been to this house before. In Pembroke Pines, Joan Murray, CBS 4 News.
The trial of an accused child killer could be moving out of Miami. Michael Hernandez's attorney says he wants his client's trial moved because of all the media attention. A Miami judge will make the decision next week. The 18-year-old has pled not guilty by reason of insanity in the stabbing death of his former friend Jaime Goff. The trial is set to begin in September.
The Coral Springs man busted for allegedly making threats against police appeared before a judge today. Broward County prosecutors asked the judge to increase the bond on Gene Vargas because of the seriousness of the case. Bond was then set at $10,000. Investigators say Vargas threatened to shoot officers from the Coral Springs Police Department. The threats were posted on his MySpace page. A different type of crackdown today in a Coconut Grove neighborhood. Miami-Dade police and the Department of Housing and Urban Development went door to door searching for people who are living illegally in low-income housing. Officials gave a trespassing warning citation to residents who could not prove they should actually be living there.
The future of dozens of programs at Florida International University has just been decided. The Board of Trustees met today and made big cuts at the school. More than 20 degrees and institutes will no longer be available. The university is also getting rid of over 100 positions over the next several years. This is all because of budget shortfalls that could reach $35 million. CBS 4's Michael Williams will have a live report tonight at 6, including reaction from concerned students.
Miami-Dade schools are facing possible layoffs and larger class sizes as the system struggles to deal with a $250 million deficit. CBS 4's Gary Nelson watched today as the school board debated just where the axe should fall.
What are the numbers?
Miami-Dade school board members crunched the numbers or tried.
I think that I have a right, Mr. Chair, and I have the floor.
In a sometimes contentious session as they looked for ways to close a $250 million deficit. Already, Superintendent Rudy Crew has eliminated 800 teaching positions through attrition. More could be on the block, and
are we going to be able to afford giving the promised raises to the teachers?
Maybe not. Reneging on teachers' raises is one balloon being floated.
We should not bear the burden of this budget deficit that was, contrived in Tallahassee by continuously giving back tax rebates to the wealthiest people in the state.
School police are also in the crosshairs. The union says some middle and high schools could be left without on-site officers.
There's a difference between an administrator calling and going on a radio telling an officer, I need you here right now, who's in the building. Now you're going to have to call 911, and now the response time is going to be longer.
And in addition to classroom teachers and cops, 125 cafeteria workers could be let go. Critics say Superintendent Crew should cut more at the top among school brats.
The manner in which he's cutting the budget down here is not appropriate. It is unnecessary. He's cutting from the classrooms.
Crew would counter he has cut $14 million in administrative costs, and it's clear the bloodletting is not over.
Nobody feels comfortable with having to lay people off, but I don't know how we do it without laying people off. I just don't see how we get there.
That oxes will be gored is certain, just whose remains to be seen.
School board members made no decisions today in this workshop, did not solve your $250 million budget crisis, but push is quickly coming to shove. They, by law, must have a budget in place July 1st. In Miami, Gary Nelson, CBS 4 News.
A major setback tonight for the Bush administration. The Supreme Court ruled today that foreign terrorism suspects held at Guantanamo Bay may challenge their detention in a U.S. court. The court said the government is violating the constitutional rights of prisoners being held indefinitely and without charges. President Bush said today in Italy that he doesn't agree with the decision, but he will follow it.
We'll abide by the court's decision. That doesn't mean I have to agree with it. It's a deeply divided court, and I strongly agree with those who dissented that, and their dissent was based upon their serious concerns about U.S. national security.
Roughly 270 men remain at the prison in Guantanamo Bay. Some have been there for more than 6 years. Well, if you have family living in Cuba, you can now send them cell phones. The U.S. Commerce Department updated its regulations today, which will allow Americans to send cell phones to the communist island. The change was first announced by President Bush last month. Now, under existing laws, family members may send certain items to Cuba in a monthly gift parcel. This rule change expands the dollar value limit to $400, enabling the shipment of the cell phones.
Now, for your money, it appears tax rebate checks are doing their job of providing a boost to the sagging economy. Retail sales are up, way up. They jumped a full percentage point last month. That is twice as much as had been expected. It's the biggest one-month increase since last November. On the flip side of the economy, the number of people filing new claims for unemployment benefits has jumped to the highest level since March. The Labor Department reports that new applications for jobless benefits were up 25,000 from the previous week. That was a much bigger increase than analysts expected. It shows the labor market remains under pressure.
Rising gas prices are fueling an interesting phenomenon, an increase in the number of golf cart accidents. A new study says about 1,000 Americans are hurt on golf carts each month. That's mostly from falling out or jumping out of the golf carts, but fewer than half of those injuries actually occur on a golf course. The little vehicles are being seen more and more on suburban streets where people are apparently using them as a thrifty alternative to those gas-guzzling SUVs and cars. Those most likely to get hurt are teens and people over the age of 80.
It's amazing there are more accidents outside the golf courses than on them.
No kidding.
Go figure. Well, still ahead, a wrong-way wreck with tragic consequences.
Yes, 3 innocent people are killed. The driver responsible survived. And tonight we're learning he was driving drunk. We'll be live.
Local lotto winner. The person holding last night's $36 million ticket hasn't come forward yet, but the man who sold it has 50,000 reasons to be happy. He's talking after the break.
And big send-off. The baseball Canes are on their way to Omaha for the College World Series. More in about 5 minutes.
You're watching CBS 4 News at 5, covering South Beach, Baca Key, Margate, and your South Florida neighborhood.
We'll be right back.
We know times are especially rough. That's why this weekend we're offering financing up to 18 months with no payments and no interest. If you need new flooring, come to Dolphin Carpet and Tile. You'll love your new floor.
Missed the big story again, huh?
If you watched, you would know too. CBS 4 News with Antonio Mora.
Come on, I'll fill you in.
He'll keep you in the loop.
Every car maker's focusing on fuel efficiency, but they've forgotten about the power. At Nissan, we do more with a drop of fuel than any other manufacturer. The dependable Altima, versatile Sentra, and reliable Versa. 3 performance sedans with 31 miles per gallon or higher. Lease the Nissan Altima for $199 a month, or get 1,000 Nissan cash back on Versa. Nissan sedans. Lean, mean, driving machines.
Get a $200 rebate when you book a Bahamas vacation by June 30th. Visit Bahamas.com or call 1-800-BAHAMAS for details.
We know times are especially tough. That's why this weekend I've told all our salespeople no reasonable offer will be refused. You'll never buy flooring for less than right now. Hurry to Dolphin Carpet and Tile. You'll love your new floor.
Breaking news now about the tomato scare, and it involves the state of Florida. CBS Sports' Elliot Rodriguez is in the newsroom now with the details. Elliot.
Well, Erica, that's right. It turns out that Florida is no longer on the safe list when it comes to the scare with salmonella-tainted tomatoes. The state has been added to the list along with 5 other states where there have been cases of salmonella related to tomatoes. In all, there have been 228 cases, and the list now includes Florida, Georgia, Missouri, New York, Tennessee, and Vermont, bringing the number of affected states to 23. Well, what does this all mean? We checked on the FDA website, and what they are encouraging consumers to do is to call the store where you purchase your tomatoes to find out where the tomatoes came from, if they came from one of these states. And now Florida is on the list. The best thing to do is to stay away from those tomatoes unless they are the cherry tomatoes, which are okay. There are a couple of other ones there that you can eat. To get more information on the story, you can check the FDA website, and we'll have some information also at CBS4.com. Reporting now from the newsroom, I'm Elliot Rodriguez, CBS 4 News.
Let's hope they figure this out soon, Elliot. Thank you. We have an update on that cute puppy that needed to be rescued yesterday. It took dozens of rescuers a couple of hours to get the pup out of a Miami sewage drain. The puppy's mother's crying alerted a passerby. She then watched the whole thing. Tonight, they are reunited at the Miami-Dade Animal Shelter. The fire dispatcher who took the call is adopting the puppy, but she's willing to let it go to someone else if they will adopt the pair together. The puppy will have minor surgery on Saturday and then will be released to the dispatcher if no one adopts the mom. If you want to adopt the pair, all you have to do is log on to CBS4.com, click on the local section, and we'll tell you how.
Hopefully Mama finds a good home. Well, if you bought a lotto ticket on Miami Beach, you better check your ticket, and I mean right now. There is $36 million at stake. Someone bought a $1 quick pick ticket at Leanne Drug. Now, the drugstore is on 9th and Washington Avenue, but the winner has not come forward to claim their millions yet. The store's owner, who now gets $50,000, says it's the first winning ticket he's sold in years.
And they were very happy. All my employees are happy. Well, for the store, I'm going to pay some bills and then share some of the wealth with the employees.
Okay, here are those winning numbers. Get your ticket out. 24, 41, 42, 46, 47, 52.
Some very lucky, very happy person today if they've looked.
Yeah, if they have the ticket still. Hopefully it's not in the laundry.
Well, talking about some other people who are very happy, the baseball Canes hope to continue their winning ways in Omaha. They left for Nebraska this morning to compete in the College World Series. CBS 4's Kim Bocamper is here with the story. And Kim, the team got a big send-off.
They certainly did, and I got to tell you, it was well-deserved. You look at these guys, this bunch of kids has had their sights set on Omaha since day one, but it's not the trip that counts to them, it's winning it all.
Third time in school history.
All right, so we'll try to get that for you a little later on, but it is the 23rd time that University of Miami is going to the College World Series. They've won 4 times before, so they're trying to pick up their 5th College World Series win. The last time they did it, 2001, and I think, maybe they're due to pick it up again this time.
Yeah, it's 7 years since they won last, right? 2001.
Yeah, they've won 4, and this would be their 5th, but 2001 the last time they did it.
And this is a pretty solid team. So they
a very good team. Look, they've been ranked #1 in the nation throughout most of the year. They won their regional. They got through the super regional, having to come back in the 3rd game to win the deciding game in that. So this team is well tested, know how to win coming from behind. They're well coached, and I think they have a great shot. They're the #1 seed going in.
And some are being drafted now too, right?
Well, they've had a couple. They have 3 players drafted in the first round. Yonder Alonso was the 7th player picked, and they had a couple more guys taken in the first round, so they're a very, very good baseball team with a lot of talent. But you know what? Everyone at the College World Series is going to have a lot of talent.
Sure. Yeah. Let's hope they win, and let's hope these guys have a great major league career when it gets to that.
Thanks, Kim.
Thank you, Kim. Craig Setzer is here.
Yep.
A little rain on and off, and some pretty big storms at different times today.
Yeah, some parts of South Florida getting a lot of lightning. It looks like that lightning started over by Hialeah and Bow Harbor and worked its way to the northwest with one little thunderstorm there. And also just west of Weston in the Everglades had a big thunderstorm march down out of the Everglades along US 27, and that storm has since moved on to the west. So here's a look at real-time Doppler 4 now. The main thing you can see is there's not a lot of lightning showing up anymore except for for a few little isolated thunderstorms, one there near Dolphin Stadium. And then this big area of rain, light to moderate rain, that's going to make many roads wet this evening. So your commute going to be a little bit slowed down thanks to wet roads. But I don't think we're going to see any more severe weather this evening. Maybe just a brief spotty downpour. All right, here's what's going on in terms of temperatures across South Florida right now. The rain has cooled us off in some spots. 78 here at CBS 4, 80 at MIA, 84 Fort Lauderdale, Hollywood, and 87 in Key West, where the Keys have escaped the thunderstorms. 6 on the stickiness scale, feels like 87. Northwest wind now, outflow from those thunderstorms, gusting to 19. 0.12 of an inch of rain here at CBS 4, but some spots in South Florida really picking up the rain. Look at WeatherBug showing heavy rainfall in Hialeah from that thunderstorm move to the west. That those folks picked up about 3/4 of an inch, 2/3 to 3/4 of an inch, wind gust to 21. In Doral, it was mostly wind, a wind gust to 34 miles an hour, and about 1/4 of an inch of rain there, and just wind and hardly any rain in Pompano Beach, 31 mile an hour wind gust, and that was from the activity coming out of Palm Beach County. CBS4.com, where your weather's always on. Check out the WeatherBug and the radar, and keep up to date on the rainfall in your neighborhood. Here's the overall map, radar satellite. Much of Florida seeing big thunderstorms. Heaviest by far have been over the west coast. Lots of reports of hail over there. And this persistent, pesky upper low continues to spin just off our coast. It is forecast to continue to move on to the west and eventually moving on out of here. So mostly morning storms for tomorrow. Some afternoon sunshine as our pattern dries out a little bit. We'll start to see slightly drier air higher up in the atmosphere come in. So some improvement as we go into the weekend. Just some spotty morning storms and a beach breeze with the tropical moisture on out of here. Sunday also looking very nice. Here's your forecast for tonight. Storms will fade out. Still some spotty downpours. A low near 76 for tomorrow. Look for early storms and then afternoon sun. Breeze picks up off the beach. High near 89. East at 10 to 15 for boaters. And then through the weekend, it's looking pretty good. Early storms tomorrow and then sun and early storms Saturday and Sunday. Next week, the pattern changes again. We go into a hot and stormy pattern. Oh boy, what's Mother Nature going to throw at us next? Temperatures in the 90s and bad storms. Who could ask for more?
Thanks a lot, Greg.
Yeah,
no
thank
problem.
you, Greg. Well, still ahead, shower curtain dangers.
You would probably recognize the smell of a new vinyl shower curtain. Later at 5:30, new scientific findings are prompting warnings. We'll have what you need to know in a CBS 4 I-Team investigation.
After the break, meet Marvin and Kevin. The South Florida brothers don't get to live together right now, but you can change that and make their dream come true.
And new at 6, South Florida is going wild over artist Guy Wilden. We will take you to his last mural in the U.S. before he heads to the Beijing Olympics.
Next, E.T. and the Insider.
Paul Newman, new cancer reports. Then Janet Jackson's secret crush on Barry Manilow.
And I used to kiss the screen.
Plus the Jonas Brothers and new Bridezilla.
Next, E.T. and Insider.
Starting tonight at 7 on CBS 4. Get in the zone, the South Florida Ford Sports Zone. Join Kim and Prim for your all-access, all-star, all-sports experience. Get more than the score with South Florida Ford Sports Zone. Saturdays at 7, only on CBS 4.
Closed captioning, sponsored by City Furniture, offering no interest until 2012, and same-day delivery 7 days a week.
This Father's Day, visit Mayors, your official Rolex jeweler, with 15 South Florida locations.
If you own a home or other structure that has polybutylene pipe with insert fittings, you may be entitled to free replacement of your plumbing if it has leaked. To qualify, your PB plumbing must have been installed between January 1st, 1978 and July 31st, 1995. For information on your legal rights and free plumbing replacement, visit pbpipe.com. or call 800-392-7591. That's 800-392-7591.
With over 500 brand names to choose from, Bears Furniture is having a half-off sale. Half off bedrooms, dining rooms, sofas, plus more. 24-hour delivery. Bears half-off sale. On now.
CBS 4 Weather is brought to you by the Miccosukee Tribe of Indians.
Every other Thursday, Shannon Horry brings you the story of a child in South Florida who is hoping to be adopted.
Yeah, tonight in the Children's Trust Heart Gallery, she introduces us to two children, their brothers, who would love to live together again.
16-year-old Marvin is the big brother. 13-year-old Tevin is the little brother. They're both living in foster homes, but unfortunately, it is not the same home.
How important is it that you guys are in a home together?
This will be our second time back together, and I'm happy.
It's good.
Yeah, it's good to see your two brothers back together again.
They go to the same school, but they don't get to hang out together a lot, like they did on this day when the Dolphin Mall Dave & Buster's gave the boys a game card and let them play all the video games they wanted. They even let me join them for a spin around the track in a NASCAR race.
What do you think of that NASCAR game that we played?
Like so totally cool.
Both of the boys love video games. They also enjoy playing sports like football and basketball, but they're also very different.
I'm quiet. I don't like to talk that much.
Really? How come?
I don't like to talk.
Tevin likes to talk.
Yeah, he did for me.
Tevin likes to talk a lot, huh?
I know he talks a lot. I know.
And some of their tastes differ too. Marvin ordered spinach dip, but Tevin wasn't so sure about it.
Thank you.
Is that good?
Yeah, it's delicious. You should try it.
Marvin says he thinks about being adopted a lot, and he only wants one thing.
I want to be nice.
Tevin has a huge smile that can light up a room. He says someone once told him he looks like a superstar.
I'm like cool.
You're like cool? Uh-huh.
Yeah.
I get that.
And this date was very cool for the boys.
So our VIP visitors today, we have a very nice gift for you.
Thank you.
Guys, thank you.
They got this great experience, but most importantly, they were together. Perhaps there's room in your home for these two brothers. Shannon Horry, CBS 4 News.
Now, if you would like to adopt Marvin and Tevin, you can call the Children's Trust in Miami-Dade. Just dial 211 if you're in Broward. And the keys, the number is 305-631-4211. It'd be so nice if they get back together.
I know, it would be great. They seem like great kids. So
They really do.
Let's hope somebody out there gets inspired.
That'd be
'cause
great.
They need the help.
They sure do.
Well, I'm heading off to work on our 6 o'clock news and hope to see you then. Now, here's Elliot Rodriguez with a look at what's ahead at 5:30. Elliot.
Antonio, local strip mall goes up in flames. Investigators say it was arson, but it looks like the suspect never had fire on his mind. He had a craving for copper. We'll explain. Also, Oprah's done it again. The Queen of Talk is a money magnet. She's earned more than any other celebrity, and the amount, well, it's simply staggering. And speaking of money, a woman throws nearly $200,000 in the trash, and later on she finds it. You're going to see how she was able to do that when Erica Von Thiel joins me for CBS 4 News at 5:30, right after the break.
Get to the Miami Beach Convention Center this weekend for the largest summer boat show in the Southeast. It's the absolute blowout of 2008 model boats. Save thousands on the most fuel-efficient boats ever and get on-site financing this weekend only at the Miami Beach Convention Center.
CBS Tonight.
To the women in our lives.
And to new friends. The 70s are in full swing. When the Millers met the new neighbors.
Hi. You're really not jealous. It's only sex.
They discovered a whole new world.
They're coming over for dinner tonight.
Thought they were a one-time thing.
We are not swingers.
Don't miss the first-rate cast and intriguing summer fun.
You just keep surprising me.
That's a good thing, right?
Swingtown, new episode CBS Tonight after CSI.
Here's what's on CBS 4 tonight. Brought to you by Publix and Southeast Toyota.
A Discovery Cruise offers all the amenities of a longer cruise in one fun-filled day to the Bahamas. 3 lavish buffet meals are included. Visit discoverycruiseline.com. Even choose to cruise and stay.
Are you like me? I have high blood pressure and I have high cholesterol.
But he treats both with one pill.
Catawit makes it easier to manage my 2 conditions. Catawit contains 2 proven medicines, one for lowering high blood pressure, the other for lowering high cholesterol, combined in one pill. Catawit. That works for me.
Catawit is one of many treatment options, in addition to diet and exercise that he discussed with his doctor.
Catawit is not for everyone. It's not for people with liver problems and women who are nursing, pregnant, or may become pregnant. To check for liver problems, you need simple blood tests. Tell your doctor about any heart problems and all other medications you are taking. Or if you experience muscle pain or weakness, as they may be a sign of a rare but serious side effect. Along with diet and exercise, Catawit effectively lowers both high blood pressure and high cholesterol. 2 medicines, 1 pill. Ask your doctor if Catawit is right for you.
Get to the Miami Beach Convention Center this weekend for the largest summer boat show in the Southeast. It's the absolute blowout of 2008 model boats. Save thousands on the most fuel-efficient boats ever and get on-site financing this weekend only at the Miami Beach Convention Center.
This segment of Dr. Sean is brought to you by Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Florida. Speak and be heard.
From Miami-Dade, Broward, and the Keys, this is South Florida's CBS 4 News.
Right now, a wrong-way wreck on a South Florida road. 3 people in one truck are killed. Hello again, everyone. I'm Erica Bontillo.
And I'm Elliot Rodriguez. The person who was driving the wrong way survived. CBS 4's Peter Dench is live at Jackson Memorial Hospital with the story for us. Peter.
Elliot, this is where 27-year-old Roger Delgado is recovering here at Jackson Memorial Hospital after the wrong-way accident, an accident that also left the driver of his truck in critical condition and left 3 people dead. Now, FHP, the Florida Highway Patrol, also says that the driver of the other truck was not only going the wrong way, he may have been drunk as well. About that.
I feel upset because he should have been on the other side of the road.
Raydel Vasquez is horrified by this carnage on Okeechobee Road. A collision between the 2 trucks. Survivors being rushed to and airlifted to Jackson Memorial Hospital. An accident that took 3 lives.
That it wasn't their fault. They were on the right side of the road, right? That's what upsets me. That guy wasn't what he was doing on the wrong side of the road.
Vasquez lost his friend in the accident, 37-year-old Angel Cardenas. He was one of 5 men who were in a Ford pickup truck. FHP says Edward Aaron's Dodge pickup truck was going the wrong way on Okeechobee Road when they collided. Investigators say they gave Aaron a blood alcohol test after smelling alcohol on his breath. The accident also angers Cardenas' cousins.
That was the responsibility. To be drunk and to be, on the wrong side of the road. That was really responsible on him. He's really mad about that. That's basically what we want to say. He's real mad. Everybody's mad.
FHP says the 5 men had just been in Hialeah. One relative told me they were looking for scrap metal. Cardenas, who came here from Cuba in 1995, worked at odd jobs.
He was single. He had a life. He was doing his thing, and now he ain't here no more.
Aaron lives here in Florida City. FHP says he was not seriously injured. We were not able to reach him for comment about this accident. The investigators tell us that citations and charges are pending against Aaron. They're waiting for the results of the blood alcohol test to come back before making a final decision. We're live at Jackson Memorial Hospital. Peter Dench, CBS 4 News.
Thank you, Peter. A traffic nightmare in Miramar today. A dump truck brought down several power lines, sending one of them right on top of a car. Trapper 4 was over the scene this morning at Miramar Parkway, just off of I-75. The woman in the car was able to get out once the power was shut off. The repairs to the area stretched into the late afternoon, so you might want to avoid that area. Well, quite a sight off Miami Beach this morning. Look at this. Offshore storms once again created a waterspout. Trapper 4 captured it on tape just off 71st Street. Now, fortunately, the waterspout never made it close to land.
Good thing. Well, we've recently reported on stories of thieves stealing metal to make a quick buck. Well, this morning in Miami, one person's greed led to one big mess. He ended up sparking a fire that damaged several businesses at a strip mall. CBS 4's Maribel Rodriguez is in Miami with the story for us.
2 of the 4 businesses did suffer some smoke damage. I want to go ahead and show you what officials believe they were after. This is copper, which is inside the electrical wires they were after, which can be sold. Their plan didn't come out the way they expected. Intense flames shoot out of a strip mall in Little Havana.
It just went pop. and then the sparks started coming out, and then a ball of fire just started forming.
That's what Marvin Calderon heard and saw from his apartment early Thursday morning. Minutes later, firefighters arrived to find this on 8th Street and 20th Avenue.
They found that there was two 500-gallon propane tanks that seemed to have fire shooting up about 20 to 30 feet in the air.
And because those propane tanks were leaking gas, putting out the fire was very challenging.
So electricity that was sparking around some standing water. So it made it difficult for firefighters to get close enough to try to put this fire out.
In this video, you can see one of the firefighters as he approaches the fire, and watch closely. As he turns off the valve, the fire is put out in an instant. Once the fire is out, they discovered what sparked it.
And we found what seems to be some kind of bolt cutters that were melted to the wire behind one of the businesses. This is an indication that somebody was trying to steal electrical wire and did not succeed.
Officials believe those who started the fire may have been standing on top of the propane tanks when they were trying to steal the electrical wires, and that's what caused the leak. Now, they're still investigating this. They're looking for those responsible. They may have suffered electrical as well as fire burns. If you know what happened, you're asked to call Miami-Dade Crime Stoppers at 305-471-TIPS. By the way, officials also found a roll of electrical wire, so they believe they may have been at this all night. In Little Havana, Maribel Rodriguez, CBS 4 News.
Well, we all know that no campaign is without its smears, but Barack Obama's camp is actually fighting back. They've created a new website, www.fightthesmears.com. Its purpose is to help debunk some of the rumors about Obama, as well as his wife, Michelle. The site addresses a rumor about his wife using a derogatory word on a videotape that doesn't exist, his religious background, and several other rumors. The site encourages people to register by email and, quote, spread the truth. But Senator Obama did not have to worry about a hostile crowd today. In fact, both presidential candidates were campaigning in very friendly territory. CBS 4 national political reporter Samantha Hayes has our Campaign 08 wrap-up.
Both candidates are dealing with their own campaign dust-ups right now, so both Barack Obama and John McCain headed to states that supported them in the primaries and will be crucial in the general election.
In January, New Hampshire propelled John McCain to frontrunner status in the GOP primary fight. In November, it will be a crucial state in his battle with Barack Obama. McCain held one of his town hall meetings there today, returning to friendly territory. But first, the GOP presumptive nominee was in Boston, defending his comments that a timetable for withdrawing troops from Iraq is, quote, not too important.
We have a choice to pursue Senator Obama's path, which is artificial dates for withdrawal, which could lead to chaos, which could eventually lead to a wider war, or staying with the strategy that is succeeding, and we will be able to withdraw, and we will come home with victory and honor.
Still smarting from the departure of campaign advisor Jim Johnson, who left amid questions about personal loans, Obama headed to Wisconsin, another November toss-up. He continued to pounce on McCain's remarks.
First of all, that means he's not thinking about the extraordinary burden that families are under on 2 or 3 or 4 tours of duty. But he's also not thinking about taxpayers. We're spending $10 to $12 billion a month in Iraq. And that's money that could go to rebuilding Wisconsin and putting people back to work right here in the United States of America.
In keeping with that economic theme that's been so strong this week, Barack Obama again pushed for tax relief for the middle class. In Washington, I'm Samantha Hayes, CBS 4 News.
The same weather system responsible for that deadly tornado last night in Iowa that killed 4 Boy Scouts has also claimed lives in Kansas. 2 people were killed in the town of Manhattan, Kansas. The wind whipped cars around like toys, damaged buildings, and downed trees. Search and rescue efforts were taking place in several other small towns in the path of the tornadoes. Floodwaters in eastern Iowa have caused a lot of damage in Cedar Rapids. Homes that were out of danger yesterday are completely underwater today. Power has been cut to the downtown area, and thousands of people have been evacuated from their homes. There's already massive flooding, but the worst is yet to come. The river is expected to crest at a record 24 feet.
All these houses down there are going to take a big hit.
Well, it's not just Iowa. Rivers, including the Mississippi, are on the rise, leaving the states across the Midwest bracing for some of the worst flooding in recent memory.
Well, it seems like there have been so many food recalls in this last year, so a lot of us are wondering just how safe is our food supply? The tough questions being asked on Capitol Hill to make sure what's on your dinner table doesn't harm your family. Plus this.
She asked me if I could drop my kids off at my friend's and if I could come with her to the dump to look for some money.
Well, you heard that right. That woman and her friend had to search through piles of trash looking for nearly $200,000 that was thrown out with the garbage. Wait until you hear how this one ends up.
How do you throw out that much money? Well, coming up at 6, jet fuel is getting more expensive, and so is your next airline ticket. Find out how much more American Airlines is charging for fuel.
You're watching CBS 4 News at 5:30. We're covering Westchester, Edgewater, Fort Lauderdale, and your South Florida neighborhood.
We'll be right back.
Just what does funny man Bryan Cranston have to do to get a reaction like this?
This must be what America wants to see.
Plus, Lara's dishing up a surprise visit from a music legend.
Come on out!
Tomorrow at 3 on 4.
Now through Tuesday only, don't miss the ultimate store-wide mattress sale at Rooms to Go. Not only can you get Rooms to Go expert advice, next-day delivery in most markets, plus removal of your old mattress. During this amazing sale, you'll find a huge selection of famous brand mattresses, whatever firmness you need, each reduced to shocking low prices. Prices no one else can beat. So forget department and bedding stores. Hurry to the ultimate store-wide mattress sale at Rooms to Go. Now through Tuesday only.
Hit me. Announcing a new star at Seminole Hard Rock Hotel and Casino, Blackjack. Come deal yourself in at a real casino. Now, for the first time ever in Florida, you can play real blackjack and other top casino table games like Baccarat and Pai Gow. When you're ready for the real deal in action and excitement, ask for Jack. Only at Seminole Hard Rock Hotel and Casino. Blackjack's coming soon. Hit me.
Introducing new locale smoothies. For a limited time, get 2 Love It sizes for $7.
BrandsMart USA is having a huge Father's Day sale, and what dad wouldn't want a flat panel TV? Right now, get a Kobe 12-inch LCD for $148.88. Brooks Sonic's 19-inch HD LCD is $248.88. Pay only $498.88 for Toshiba's 26-inch or Sylvania's 32-inch HD LCD. Sharp's 37-inch HD LCD is $798.88. A 42-inch HD Plasma from Samsung is $898.88. An LG 60-inch HD Plasma is $1998.88. BrandsMart USA, of course, your favorite brands at low, low prices.
What the?
You guys okay?
We're trapped and there's 7 of us. There's no way we'll fit in there.
There's room for 8.
Oh, forget it. We have too many beverages.
There's like 12 cup holders in here.
But what about this bison? That thing got my blood a-boiling.
Well, it's probably just the seat warmer.
Seating for 8. Ride Ready. The new Pilot, only from Honda.
There were some heated moments on Capitol Hill today. As we told you earlier in the broadcast, Florida has now been added to a list of places with potentially unsafe tomatoes. Lawmakers say they're fed up with the cracks in the food safety system. As CBS 4's Susan Robert reports, the FDA had to face a panel to explain why contaminated produce continues to make it into stores.
The panic over tainted tomatoes brought the issue of food safety to a full boil in Washington. Lawmakers voted to subpoena 9 companies responsible for food testing after they refused to hand over information voluntarily. Investigators want to look into charges that labs sometimes test foods until they get a clean result.
As a mother and a grandmother, I should not have to worry about whether I'm serving my family contaminated food.
Congress is putting the Food and Drug Administration under the microscope. The agency presented a plan to protect the nation's food supply last November. It called for new safety measures after tainted spinach, lettuce, and peanut butter sickened people. But a congressional investigation found the agency has done little to put the plan into action or to come up with a price tag.
How would you put forth a plan for food safety for the nation, but have no idea what it's going to cost? Do you have any ideas what it's going to cost 5 years out?
At this stage, I couldn't tell you what it's going to cost 5 years out.
Just 2 days before the hearing, the FDA made a move saying it will need an extra $275 million in next year's budget. Now it's up to Congress to make it happen.
I strongly applaud this request, but we need to know far more details about how this money will be spent.
For now, the FDA has its hands full, trying to pinpoint the source of the salmonella outbreak that has sickened nearly 170 people and sent the industry into a tailspin. Lawmakers say it's time to prevent these deadly outbreaks rather than just react to them. The FDA is certainly under fire here in Washington. The agriculture industry is weighing in, saying the FDA should be able to pinpoint the sources quicker without hurting producers not affected by the outbreaks. In Washington, Susan Roberts, CBS 4 News.
It's been nearly 1 month since an earthquake rocked central China, killing nearly 70,000 people. Thousands are still missing and millions are homeless. Hundreds of aftershocks continue to rattle the area, and giant lakes that were created by the earthquake threaten major flooding. The Chinese government is now trying to move past the death and destruction and focus on rebuilding.
Empty boxes lined the shelves of food shops in Spain today. Truckers continue to strike across the country, protesting soaring gas prices. Now, it's the 4th day of this strike. Shoppers are buying what little produce is available, fearing a shortage. The government is urging workers to return to work. President Bush is in Italy right now. He met today with the Italian Prime Minister in Rome. Now, this is part of Mr. Bush's final tour to Europe as President of the United States. He's meeting with European leaders, urging them to work with America on securing Middle East peace, fighting radical Islamic terrorists, and keeping a close watch on Iran.
Right now, an amazing story out of Utah. A woman accidentally dumps $188,000 worth of company checks in the garbage. Of course, she panicked. She called a friend right away, and they flagged down the garbage truck and arranged to have it dump all its cargo at the county transit station so they can search it. Now, they prayed, and amazingly, the very first bag that they grabbed from the pile was the one they were looking for.
We know that our prayer was answered.
You either believe it or you don't believe it. But it happened, and it was unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable.
Talk about luck, huh? Now, the woman who actually lost the checks, well, she wants to remain anonymous for rather obvious reasons. Not too bright on her part.
How do you lose that much money?
I've done some dumb things in my life, but to
Not
throw away
$188,000 worth.
They got to give her another job at that company.
I agree. It's a different position.
Yeah.
Well, if you think that story is unbelievable, take a look at this. Fantasy or reality? Is this one-horned animal a mythical unicorn? The story after the break.
It looks like one.
It does.
And new at 6 o'clock, jazz artists could soon be making music in Miami again. Find out what famous musician is behind the move.
Greg Setzer in the CBS 4 Storm Center. Live picture looking west over western Miami-Dade. Big thunderstorms out in the Everglades. Of course, we have the updraft region. The high-level clouds blowing off. The little updraft clouds blowing in. The flanking line. Okay, enough of the weather lesson. How about your forecast? I've got it coming up.
We're going to the fattest state in the country. No more excuses.
Oprah and Bob Green's Best Life Challenge.
And she went from 300 pounds, come on out here, to this. Next Oprah.
Tomorrow at 4 on 4. Get in the zone, the South Florida Ford Sports Zone. Join Kim and Prim for your all-access, all-star, all-sports experience. Get more than the score with South Florida Ford Sports Zone. Saturdays at 7, only on CBS 4.
So it's either new ropes for the choir or new swings for the park, new books for the library, children's hospital, new band uniforms.
There are many ways to help your community, but only one starts with a conversation like this.
I like to open a checking account.
When you open a SunTrust checking account, we'll donate $100 in your name to the charity of your choice. Or you can get a $50 gift card to keep for your own cause.
Definitely the church.
No matter what you choose.
Or maybe the school.
It's a conversation worth having.
Each year, 37,000 Americans die in car accidents. And 38,000 are killed by secondhand smoke. To quit, visit tobaccofreeflorida.com or call the Quit line for free counseling and information.
Hi, I'm Mario Morgado, one of the owners here at Brickell Motors.
Only the owners can authorize the best deal.
And right now, that's a 2008 four-door Honda Accord LX for only $167 a month. $167 a month for a brand new Accord. And remember, only Brickell gives you a lifetime warranty on every new Honda purchased. Only the owner can authorize the best deal.
Want to deal with the owner? That's me, Alex. Call me, 305-519-6039.
Brickell Motors, where the owners are always in.
Escape everyday life on Grand Bahama Island, a unique destination just 30 minutes from Florida with something for everyone. Book your getaway today and get an instant $200 rebate on a 4-night stay at participating hotels. Plus, kids eat and stay free. To learn more, go to grandbahamavacations.com.
With over 500 brand names to choose from, Bears Furniture is having a half-off sale to beat all half-off sales. We're slashing prices. Half-off luxurious Bernhardt bedrooms, Broyhill, select sofas, dining rooms, accessories, and more. With all that new furniture, thank goodness for Bears' complimentary in-home design service. Pay no interest for 1 year. 24-hour delivery. Bears half-off sale. On now. Don't miss it.
CBS 4 News is brought to you by Bears. Where? Bears.
Well, crocodiles are pretty common here in Florida, but it's rare to find one in the ocean off the coast of South Carolina. Take a look at this 6-foot-long American crocodile. It was found last week in the surf off the Isle of Palms. Now, the croc is getting a new place to live at a crocodile education center in Palmdale, Florida, in Glades County. Experts say it's very possible the croc was bred at the facility it's returning to. About 1,000 American crocodiles can be found here in South Florida.
Well, from a croc to a deer that looks like a mythical creature. Check out this little guy. It's been named appropriately Unicorn. The deer has been making its home in a nature preserve in Rome, and workers there think he may have been born with a genetic flaw, if that's what you want to call it. But single-horned deer are rare. However, they are not unheard of, and I think definitely unicorn, unihorn, whatever you want to call it. It's a unihorn.
Could have a movie career.
Yeah, there you go.
All right, let's check in with Craig Setzer and our weather. Is it raining out there right now?
It is raining across much of the area right now. Fortunately, it's not heavy rain, just light to moderate rain. It's working its way south through Broward. Heaviest thunderstorms are starting to decrease, though we still have some heavy rain falling right around the Golden Glades interchange, not helping the evening commute much. Roads are wet across much of South Florida this evening, especially in Broward and northern Miami-Dade. Things will improve as the night goes on. Here's what we've seen so far today. Temperatures across South Florida made it in the upper 80s to right around 90 degrees. Overnight lows in the 70s to the low 80s. And rainfall amounts mostly have been light. We have seen some heavier amounts here and there. In terms of weather bug right now, we're showing temperatures in the 70s and 80s. Rain-cooled air across the area in Weston and in Hialeah in the mid-70s. Right now in Key Biscayne, 81 degrees. But here are some of our rainfall amounts are fairly representative. In Weston, about 1/4 of an inch. 1/2 inch in Key Biscayne. About 2/3 of an inch coming in from Hialeah in those afternoon storms, and things are gradually quieting down. Elsewhere across South Florida, readings right now are in the 80s where we haven't seen as much rain, in the 70s where we've seen heavier rain, and temperatures will gradually calm down and even out into the upper 70s overnight tonight. Here's a look at the radar satellite starting at 5:45 a.m. We had a few showers popping up early over South Miami-Dade, and then the bigger stuff came in this afternoon. But the very heaviest stayed over the Everglades, so once again today the metro area is missing the most intense thunderstorms. Good news there, and I think our overall pattern is quieting down in terms of heavy weather. For tomorrow, mostly morning storms moving in from the coast, and then some afternoon sunshine. We'll still see the afternoon thunderstorms over the Everglades. Into the tropics, and we'll take a look from a water vapor perspective. It's quiet in the Caribbean and the Gulf of Mexico, much of the Atlantic. We are watching this tropical wave down here moving through the islands right now. It's going to continue to move west, and some of that moisture could reach us by Monday or Tuesday of next week, which will just increase our rain chances once again after the weekend. Right now is looking pretty nice. Across the country, pretty summer, like 90 in Chicago, 97 in Dallas right now, even in the Northeast, pretty warm, 84 in New York, 89 in D.C. Here's your forecast for tonight. Storms will fade on out. Still a few leftover downpours in spots with a low near 76. For tomorrow, look for storms to start your day, and then afternoon sun and breeze picking up off the beaches. High near 89. Pollen count showing everything remaining about the same. Taking us through the weekend, some improvement after early storms on Friday. Just some stray storms Saturday and Sunday favoring the early parts of the day, and then that tropical moisture